Hey there, Tony Policastro here, founder of Tony's Acoustic Challenge and host of the Acoustic Tuesday show. Today we're going to be looking at the Fender Acoustasonic Stratocaster, a guitar I was highly skeptical about when it first came out, and I even had to delay this very review because I wanted to really spend some time with it. So the Fender Acoustasonic Stratocaster, when this guitar first came out, as I mentioned before, I was skeptical. And I saw tons of reviews being released right away upon the initial release of this guitar. And even though I had one, I wanted to wait to share my review and my thoughts with you because I wanted to wait for the novelty to wear off. Whenever something's new, it's very exciting, and we're all excited about the new features. But what happens a month after you have it? What happens 2 months after you have it? Does the novelty wear off? Do you find more uses for it? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to discuss right here, right now. I'm primarily an acoustic player. I only play electric guitar seldom, if ever. And I thought that, well, this is cool. This is an electric guitar that looks like an acoustic guitar, but what's it going to do for me? What's it going to provide me as an acoustic guitar player? And I found some very interesting things as I dug into the guitar itself. Before I get into my discoveries about this guitar, I want to start with the specs, and I'll start with some things that I'm used to talking about. We've got an 1 11/16 Graphtec Tusk nut to match the Graphtec Tusk saddle here on the bridge. We've got a 25.5-inch scale length, which is really comfortable for somebody that's used to playing acoustic guitars. Also on the neck, you'll notice that the frets are a little bit wider, at least than what I'm used to. I would consider these wider or almost jumbo frets, something that I don't normally encounter on acoustic guitars, but found it relatively comfortable to play. It comes set up with 11s on it for strings, which I found far too light for my liking, but I think for this body style and it being kind of a crossover instrument, I think it's a good match. I really do think it's a good match. We've got a Stratocaster headstock with 6-in-a-line tuners, and then down on the body, this is where things get interesting and kind of outside my normal realm. As you can see, there's a magnetic pickup here, but there's also an under the bridge pickup in addition to a body pickup. And this was designed with both Fender and Fishman, creating this Acoustasonic engine that actually drives this guitar. It offers a ton of tonal voicings and quite a lot of flexibility for this instrument. You'll also see down beneath the bridge, you've got a volume knob here, which is the closest to the strings, and then you've got a mod knob, which essentially switches between voicings. I like to call it a blend knob, but the instructions say mod knob, so I'll go with that. And we've also got a 5-position switch. If you switch it all the way to the left or towards the headstock, you get more acoustic tones, and then as you move towards the body of the guitar, you get more electric tones. So on to my discoveries with this instrument. First and foremost, I have to say, when I first got it, it's new, it's exciting, I was smitten. I was playing through an amp all the time. But later on, I found myself not necessarily using the amp all that much, and that's where my biggest light bulb moment came with this guitar. This guitar is a fantastic couch companion, and I say this because I primarily play acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitars inherently are much louder than this instrument. However, when you live with a spouse, in my case, Whitney really appreciates me using this guitar in the evening hours, so I'm not making a ton of noise. So I found this a nice practice companion, a great couch guitar, and something that you could play with other people around and not necessarily annoy them, especially if you're working on something like scales or something like that. Now let's move on to actually plugging this guitar in. That's where I found this guitar to be really fun to experiment with. From all the different acoustic tones that it offers, and it offers 10, there's 5 positions on the switch, and each position offers 2 different voicings that you can adjust, again, with this mod knob. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the acoustic voicings, but I found myself kind of falling into the guilty pleasure land of the electric voicings. There's a clean electric guitar tone, kind of a fatter electric guitar tone, and then a dirty electric guitar tone. And as primarily an acoustic player, I find myself kind of gravitating more towards that dirty electric tone because it's something I don't, well, normally experience. Now, one of the things I want to make mention is that I think this guitar is absolutely perfect for the electric guitar player who wants to bring in some acoustic voicings to their live set, maybe their open mic, or just for messing around. And I say that because of, number one, comfort. This is like holding an electric guitar. It is not like holding an acoustic guitar, and I think an electric guitar player wanting that acoustic tone would find this very beneficial. And number two, I think it offers a lot of flexibility in terms of all the different voicings that it has, and in terms of sound that you can actually dial in. And if you're playing with a band and you want an acoustic tone, this is actually a really good fit because you can up the volume and it doesn't necessarily feed back like an acoustic guitar would. So all in all, I'm really impressed by the Fender Acoustasonic Stratocaster. Between its flexibility and its comfort, especially for an electric player crossing over into the acoustic realm, it's a great, well, we'll call it a gateway guitar. And I also want to say I'm really glad that I invested the time in it that I did because it gave me a chance to really put it through its paces and not necessarily just be attracted to that new shiny thing. So if you have a chance to try out the Fender Acoustasonic Stratocaster, I would suggest doing so, especially if you're an electric guitar player. Thanks so much for watching this review, and if you got anything useful out of it, make sure to check out the Acoustic Tuesday show on this very YouTube channel. In fact, if you don't want to miss the Acoustic Tuesday show, I recommend you subscribe to this channel because every Tuesday at 10 a.m. I host a show that, well, as a guitar geek, you will absolutely love.